Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Cheap Shot Entertainment. You are the Cheap Shot Nation and I am your host Luke, and we're going to take you through everything that happened in the retro review of 2001. Backlash 2001, more specifically. It happened on the 29th of April 2001. That is exactly 20 years to the day that we are releasing these videos. It's from the sold-out All-State Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, and it was housing 15,952 fans. You've also got JR and Paul Heyman still doing the commentary. Great commentary team, might I say. One of my favourites, having gone through these pay-per-views. But, you know, what is the Backlash from WrestleMania 17? One of my favourite pay-per-views and the first one to receive the Big Boss seal of approval on Cheap Shot Entertainment. So, will the Backlash pay-per-view also get the seal of approval treatment? Join us in the main video to find out. So we move on to the first match. It is the XFactor versus the Dudley Boyz. How the mighty have fallen, and WWE putting a lot of effort into XFactor, X-Pac Heat and all that kind of stuff. So, how was the match? Well, it was okay and just okay, which is really sad when you consider that, you know, the star power that was in this one. It was X-Pac and Albert, I think, from the X-Factor. Of course, they also had Just Incredible in there as well. But the match finishes with a splash in the corner from Albert and a double super kick from X-Pac and Just Incredible. So it's possible that Albert was on the outside. I can't remember, I watched this quite a while ago, but I have watched it again recently. I think it was X-Pac and Just Incredible in the actual match to Bubba Ray, and this gives X-Factor the win, but X-Pac tastes the wood after the match. So the match itself, I usually say it's good to have a tag team opener. I would say again it's good to have a tag team opener. It's just a shame, like I say, with all the talent that's on offer in this one, that it wasn't any better than two cheap shots out of 5. The card would get a lot better as we went along, but this one is not good at all. So your winners in this one are the X-Factor. Next up we get the Duchess of Queensberry match, something that I didn't really like at the time, but this time, having watched it again, was absolutely fantastic. Classic heel, bringing someone in, saying, right, okay, no, you can't do that, but I can do that. No, you can't do that, but I can do that. And this rivalry between William Regal and Chris Jericho, of course, by the end of the year would be the undisputed champion, which is phenomenal, really. But there you go, that's what it was, and it took William Regal to propel him there, because William Regal is, hello, fantastic throughout the year of 2001. Whether he's sat behind a desk or whether he's in the ring, he was absolutely fantastic. But the Duchess of Queensberry arrives in the building. Angle talks up his WrestleMania victory as well, and we then go into the next match, which is the Hardcore Championship between Rhino, the current champion, and Raven, the former champion, of course, losing the title at WrestleMania to Kane in that triple threat match. Great match indeed. And not sure how many times he picked it up, but I mean, this was the better version of the 24/7 championship if you're a newbie to the whole WWE wrestling scene. So it is the Gore versus the sort of grungy style, literally, of Raven. Raven always comes down to the ring with a shopping cart. Rhino would spear that shopping cart before having literally the kitchen sink thrown at him, because the kitchen sink was in the shopping cart with Raven. Tries to hit him again with the sink, but succumbed to another fire, and Rhino retains another fire, another spear. He gets the spear, he gets another spear. This thing with my notes and everything just changes the words all the time. There was no fire in this match, it wasn't an Inferno match, but there was another spear, and Rhino would retain. Love the hardcore division in 2001, it was fantastic. It's a damn shame that really the whole thing just went, you know, just disappeared really, because the hardcore division was fantastic. But I'm going to give this one 3.5 cheap shots out of 5 because it was a hardcore championship match. And once again, I would like to say, if, well, maybe hopefully WWE aren't watching because they'll probably give me a copyright strike, but I would really like to see a documentary on how the Hardcore Championship came about, how it was made, and then a series of matches that made the Hardcore Championship what it was. I would absolutely love to see that. But Rhino retains the championship. We're going to the next part as Shane reads his story about the Big Show. Which way did he go? And of course Stephanie pleads with Shane and says, you know, don't do it. Big Show's gonna kick your ass. And Shane remains defiant and says, no, it's fine. I'm gonna go and do this anyway. Shane McMahon, I think, is a face at this point. I think no, he's not. He's heel. I don't even know anymore. He's very it's very Big Show at this point in time. Duchess of Queensberry then is interviewed by William Regal, and is interviewed, and William Regal interrupts, says, "Don't you talk to the Duchess of Queensberry like that, because you vagabonds don't deserve to talk to her." And the Duchess of Queensberry match is next. So, the Duchess of Queensberry match. What is a Duchess of Queensberry match? Nobody knew up to this point, and I'm pretty sure no one knew thereafter as well. But like I said earlier on in the video, great match, loved it. It had William Regal and Chris Jericho, a storyline, a rivalry that transcended, it travelled the world, and it was just a really good feud. I mean, it was two upper mid-carders, I would say, going at each other, using each other as a springboard, and I really liked that, and they just went for it, and they had some of the best matches in early 2001, and this was no different. Classic heel move here by William Regal, because every time Jericho got the upper hand, Regal would change the rules, or at least the Duchess of Queensberry would change the rules, so Regal could come out on top. So Jericho got a couple of victories in this one before the Queen changed her mind, and let's say this, a lady is allowed to change her mind, and especially one that is a Queen or a Duchess of Queensberry is definitely allowed to change her mind. The arena where Y2J made his debut, this one in Rosemont, Illinois. So that is a good little fact for you. Jericho hits the Lion's Salt, but the Duchess says that is round one, so we're going straight into classic British rules here. He doesn't get the pin, that's the end of round one. William Regal sets off again. Regal gains control and waves. Hello. He locks in the Regal stretch, and Jericho gets to the ropes. The Walls of Jericho makes Regal tap, but the Duchess changes her mind again and says there are no submissions in this match. None, it's the Duchess of Queensberry match. Regal hits Jericho with the scepter that the Duchess is carrying and loses again, but there are no DQs now, because it's the Duchess of Queensberry match. Jericho loses it, assaults the Duchess, security, and Duchess's security rather, and locks in the walls of Jericho on the Duchess. Regal makes the save, hitting Jericho 3 times with the chair before getting the pin over Chris Jericho and winning the match like he bloody well should, over the ragabond that was Chris Jericho. So love how balmy this match was. This is wrestling at its very best and its worst all at the same time. Ultimately very entertaining, and it really played on how much of a heel Jericho is. Regal is. Jericho got what he deserved, besmirching the commissioner and his pot of tea. Damn you, Jericho. Love this match. I'm going to give it 3.5 cheap shots out of 5. And there you have it, folks, because Jericho is a ragabond. William Regal wins. So, Mr. McMahon calls the Big Show into his office next and makes sure that we'll not go easy on Shane, and Show assures him that he will not take it easy on the chairman's son. We move next into a 30-minute alternate submission match between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. Again, a rivalry that spanned throughout 2000 and 2001, and again by the end of 2000, Kurt Angle was the champion. By 2001, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit were having a really good rivalry, and I've said this many times in videos before. It's a damn shame what Chris Benoit did all those years ago, because he's a complete arse. But as an in-ring competitor, he was these two went together like something that goes together, like chocolate and biscuit. You know, they were really good. They put on matches, epic matches, again, fighting throughout the world, through the UK, other countries as well, and of course the US and Canada and all those kind of places. But every time they put on a show. And the 30-minute Ultimate Submission match was just fantastic. Kurt Angle says that Illinois was full of fat, sweaty pigs because, you know, cheap heat. Why not? Why not? On 23 minutes, we get the left knee lock. Angle gets the first submission and goes 1-0 up from Chris Benoit. Not on 23 minutes, 23 minutes left rather. I should definitely explain that a little bit more. On 22 minutes left, Benoit makes it 1-1 with a Fujiwara armbar. 19 minutes left, the chair and ankle lock makes it 2-1 to Kurt Angle. On 18 minutes, left ankle lock in the crossface, Angle locked into the crossface rather. Sorry, it's Benoit going 3-1 up at this point, not Angle. With 11 minutes left, Benoit makes it 3-2. Sorry, Angle locks in the crossface on Benoit. He does make it 3-1. It is Angle who's going up 3-1. Chris Benoit makes it 3-2 with the Boston Crab. On 2 minutes, Benoit picks the ankle and makes it 3-3. So both guys at this point in time have used the other one's submission finishing move. And on 0 minutes, Angle makes Benoit tap, but the match goes to sudden death because it's on 0 minutes, and why not? We want more of this. This is really good stuff. Benoit wins with a crossface, eventually in sudden death. Kurt Angle doesn't like this at all. He starts crying, he beats up Benoit. But I'm going to give this a very perfect score, and I'm also going to give it the Big Boss seal of approval, because it's over there, not over there. Big Boss seal of approval for this match and this match alone, because I'm going to give it 5 full 5 cheap shots out of 5, because it was that damn good. And it didn't even involve Triple H. I'm saying that, you know, these two fantastic. They were great in the ring together, and they just knew how to tell a story. They knew what they were doing. Both guys were just students of the game, and it was great. And they came up from different places, so it just moulded together while they're being so much different as well. Really, really good match. Last man standing match next. It reminds me very much of the match we have seen this year at WrestleMania with Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. Well, this one, Big Show and Shane McMahon. Shane O'Mac, rather. Yeah, Shane McMahon, Shane O'Mac, whatever you want to call him. Anyway, yeah, this one was really, really good, and obviously they had more. I would say they had more freedom to go around the arena at this point and destroy stuff and jump off stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, really good match. Really, Shane McMahon in these David versus Goliath matches is phenomenal. Shane takes out the show with either McMahon hits Shane with a chair. Wow, okay. So let me explain that a little bit more. It's Mr. McMahon, Shane's father, who comes out and hits Shane with a chair in this one to give the Big Show a heads up on this one. But Test saves Shane. Now, a year earlier, Test and Shane were having their own last man standing match. And it's crazy because, Test was going out with Stephanie, Triple H then married Stephanie, kayfabe, but they are actually married now. And, they had this massive feud between them, and now it's Test and Shane together being face. Shane is back and hits the Show with a sign, and Show gets a pipe. So Shane McMahon pulling out all the tricks in this one to gain the upper hand on the much larger Big Show. Shane climbs the entrance and jumps onto the Big Show as the Big Show is trapped underneath the rigging, and of course Test is still helping Shane here and things like that. So the ref starts to count as Test loads Shane onto the crane camera to get him to standing, and Shane O'Mac wins the last man standing match. Big Show cannot free himself and he cannot get up. And which way did he go? Really enjoyed this match, great match, but hard act to follow with the non-wrestler and a giant, because obviously this one followed Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, which was a damn perfect match. And then you follow it with this one, which, it's difficult to do anything better. I mean, obviously they had the jumping off the thing, jumping off the entrance, which was cool. But as a match, it wasn't a match, it was a last man standing. So there you go, it can't be argued. I'm going to give this one 3 cheap shots out of 5 for entertainment value alone, because I can. It was a really good match. Like I said, the card gets better and better and better as we go along. European Championship up for grabs next. It is Matt Hardy versus Christian versus Eddie Guerrero. Edge spears Hardy to help Christian. Jeff hits the Swanton on Christian, and as he goes for the cover, Jeff hits Swanton on Christian as he goes for the cover. So obviously the tag team partners have come out and then they have interfered in the match. Twist of Fate allows Hardy to retain the European Championship title. Matt Hardy walks away with the championship still firmly around his waist. This one was quite disappointing because of all the interference that was involved. These 3 are some of the best on the on the roster at this point in time, best on the mid card. but I'm only going to give this 2 cheap shots out of 5 because although it was quite entertaining, it wasn't a match that I thought I was going to get from these 3. They were great as tag teams, gone more into singles, I'm not even sure why, and the match fell flat really. I mean, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't great, and the interference just ruined it for me. But there you go, that is the ending of the match. Matt Hardy retains with help from his brother Jeff. So we are on to the main event now. It is for all the gold apart from the Hardcore Championship and the European Championship, but it is for the WWF Tag Team Championships, currently held by Kane and The Undertaker, the Brothers of Destruction, versus Steve Austin and Triple H, a partnership that we never thought we'd see, but then we never thought we'd see Steve Austin, Stone Cold, the man of the people, the one who takes it to his boss, shaking hands with the devil himself, selling his soul literally for the gold that lies on his shoulder. That was a long sentence, but this is for everything. Winner take all. Triple H is the current Intercontinental Champion. Stone Cold is the WWE Champion at this point, and the Brothers of Destruction are the Tag Team Champions. This match had everything to make it good, and it certainly was, and it delivered as a main event. But it would get the sledgehammer into the ring and a lot of interference from Mr. McMahon and other people as well. Later gave a power trip all of the gold. That was the finish, and the match was crazy. Brothers of Destruction beating up Triple H and Stone Cold. Triple H and Stone Cold also got their own offense in as well, but the match ended and the night ended with Stone Cold and Triple H holding all of the championships and Vince McMahon looking very smug alongside them because he's the man, he's the brains, he's the one that orchestrated the whole thing to happen. 4 cheap shots out of 5, great match, and again showcase of the heels who twist the rules constantly, and I really like that. I'm getting ideas for my character as we go along, twisting the rules away. Love it. Yeah, so again, really good show this one. Backlash 2001. We're moving through the gears now in 2001. This was not quite as good as WrestleMania 17 as you would expect, but it did finish off and sometimes continue some of the storylines that were built up on that last show. Also a simpler time when we only got 1 pay-per-view per month and only 2 hours of Raw. Good times. Anyway, that was everything that happened at Backlash 2001. Really, really good show. Again, not quite as good as some of the others, but we're moving forward now as we move over to Britain. We're going to the UK next for Insurrection, I think it is, and Rebellion's later on in the year. We're going for Insurrection now. Again, another very good pay-per-view, really. And it's, I think, the first time since 1992 that we actually got a full-on live pay-per-view here in the UK. So looking forward to watching that one and delivering all of the action to you guys, the Cheap Shot Nation. So make sure you stay safe, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button, sharing us with your friends and leaving us a comment down below. This has been Retro Reviews. I will see you next time.